So the NFL All-Day Marketplace is about to launch. Everybody is super excited. I'm super excited about it. I can't wait to get some moments from my favorite team or some of my favorite players. But before we do that, I have a word of warning that I hope you please listen to with some data to back it up. So let's talk about it. So because the marketplace is just starting, we don't have pricing. We have people that have listed some items so we can see what people are going to list them, but we don't really know what the all-day moments are going to sell for. So it's going to be a little bit insane when the market opens. With that being said, I do think we have a resource to look for as far as historical data to give us an idea of what may happen. Dapper Labs has already done this for a couple of years with NBA Top Shot. So I got involved with NBA Top Shot around what we'll call a local peak, as far as the peak pricing from the majority of items up to this point. Now, while that might not mean that that's going to be the peak pricing long term, at least in the short term, over the course of a couple of years, I got in right at the top. So I know what it feels like to watch some of your moments go down in price. Now, it didn't bother me as much because I had some good profit-taking strategies that I utilized to make sure that I didn't lose money overall. I just lost some of my unrealized profit or unrealized gains at the time. So there is something very important with this marketplace launch that I think you need to keep in mind, and I'm going to show you some data points. So let's switch to my computer screen. So we're going to take a look at some historical market pricing from when NBA Top Shot launched to what the values are today. We're going to use a base Series 1 as an example, because that's what we're going to be dealing with NFL All Day. We're going to be dealing with Series 1 items that are on the market. We're going to use LeBron James because nothing really has changed that much within the last couple of years. We already know he's great. There's already a lot of demand for him. So we're going to use him because I think he's going to be a good, stable example. What I don't want to use is to use the historical pricing of a player that has had something significant changed in the last couple of years, maybe a major injury, maybe they won a championship, and before that they were a little more unknown. So I think LeBron's the perfect example here. We're going to use a Series 1 dunk, and we're going to scroll down to his historical pricing. What we have right here, this is the last 7 days. We're going to change it to all. Here we go. All. We're going to do sales over time. We're going to remove low serial number items. It's not that those aren't important, but they will vary much more. So we're going to remove all these and just use, in this case, the 1,500 to 3,000, just to get our baseline of a price action for a particular moment. This is about when I got in right here. You see this February 19th, 2021 time frame. And look how quickly, on the 19th of February, there was an item that sold for $3,200. This particular moment sold for $3,200. Within days, we see a spike 4 days later of $10,444. That's a little bit of an outlier. Even if we come down a little bit, we're in that $8,000 to $9,000 range pretty consistently. Drops off a little bit a few days later, but still in the 8,000. And then what do you see? 2 weeks later, a month later, and we just see this price action is down. We find a bottom around here in July of about $700, around 700. We start to see the price movement again in August, and then November, December of this past year, and now we've leveled off and we are pretty steady. The moment you can currently buy that moment for about roughly $700. You can see them selling in the low 700s lately. It's low 700s compared to $8,000, $9,000, or $10,000+ a year ago. You don't want to be the person that bought at the top. Now, I know that there's a chance that, yes, they could go live and then prices could just spike crazy high. I understand that that's a possibility. But Dapper Labs and the NFL, they are going to make money. They're going to put a lot of items out. And what they did with Top Shot is the supply was really small and the hype was really big. They were paying YouTubers. They were paying YouTubers with sponsors. I still can't say it. YouTubers were having sponsored videos. Nothing wrong with that. They just said they were sponsored, but they were getting tons and tons of views, tons and tons of traffic, and they still hadn't really increased the number of moments that could be purchased by packs. So the people that were joining had one option, and that was the marketplace, and the marketplace went bonkers. If you sold right here, you were in good shape. And I sold enough moments to cover my costs to make sure that I didn't get stuck with moments that were going down, 80, 90% in value, like some of these. Now, maybe you think that this situation was more specific to this particular moment, and everybody wants a LeBron James NFT, and so it just got a little too out of control, and then the price action after reflected the overhype. But I'm going to show you just like a steady Eddie NBA player that their chart, while a lot cheaper, looks very similar to this. So we have over here Malcolm Brogdon, right? A good basketball player. Some of you don't even know who he is, but he's a good player, but he's not a star. He's not somebody that everyone's competing to get their Series 1 moments. Scroll down to his price action, change it to all, remove outliers, remove some of these, we're going to say in the 1,700 to 3,000 range, just like we did to LeBron. Look at this price action. Same dates, $75, $70, spiking up to $250. And then days later, back down to 55. We found a bottom around the 20s, and we've been in that bottom 20 to 30 range for a long, long time from our peak of $250. Now, right now, NFL All Day does not have that same hype that we saw with Top Shot for a couple of reasons. Right now, economy, the stock market, and crypto in general is going through some weird stuff with the war with Russia, or the potential war with Russia and Ukraine, and I think people are a little more tentative with how they spend their money. But at some point, the NFL is going to really, really hype up NFL All Day, and the price is going to explode. It might happen with the marketplace launch. We don't know how many users there are and how much cash there is waiting to start buying, but I think getting in, like, sure, if you got in early, you paid $70 for this moment on the 19th, and you got lucky to sell it 3 days later for $250, that's great. That's a 3-day window to hit the top. 3 days. You had 3 days to be at the bottom and say, oh, I'm going to buy this, and then 3 days later sell it at the top. You know how unlikely it is for you to find the bottom and sell the top? It's not going to happen. You're going to lose money. So I'm not telling you not to buy stuff on the marketplace. I'm going to buy stuff on the marketplace, but most likely what I'm going to do is I'm going to sell some of my current moments and exchange them for some players that I would just rather have, because their values are going to be probably pretty close, and if they go up and down, it's going to be about the same. I'm also going to probably sell some of my moments to cover my pack cost, so that I'm not at risk of losing a significant amount of money. What I am not going to do is I'm not going to YOLO in on the first week of the marketplace and to just start buying all these NFTs, saying, oh, these are Series 1s, they're going to be worth blah, 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 because we've seen what happens with this price action. Eventually, they're going to be releasing more and more packs. The marketplace is going to become more and more saturated, and the natural result of that is the price action will go down, at least in the short term, maybe 6 months, maybe a year, a few years. It's really hard to say. A lot of it also depends on the direction Dapper Labs and NBA Top Shot or NFL All Day, what the direction they go with NFTs. Will the market adoption continue to grow as more people get involved, or will this be a thing that kind of gets forgotten over time? I actually have a lot more confidence in the crypto market as a whole than I do in specific projects like this, even though I think these are very fascinating and very cool. But there's still a long ways to go with these projects, and both the NFL and the NBA, have a lot to do to make sure that it doesn't look like they're just doing a money grab. So be careful when the marketplace opens. Make sure that you don't just throw all your money thinking you're at the bottom when really you're at the top, and it's all downhill from here until we find a bottom. You really don't want that to happen. I would take some profits. You don't have to do, it's not an all or nothing. You don't have to either sell all your moments or spend all of your money. You can be in the middle. You can sell enough moments to cover your costs, or sell some moments to cover costs and take some profits, while also retaining some moments and things that you think are cool That way you're kind of protected regardless of where the market goes. So another thing to keep in mind is with NBA Top Shot, eventually it became a requirement to own certain moment rarities to be eligible to buy certain packs. So if they go that route again with here, you may need to own a rare to buy a rare pack, or own a legendary to buy a legendary pack. It's hard to say what direction they go. Eventually, NBA Top Shot has switched to a more score-based method. So if you have a certain collector score, you're eligible to buy certain more rare pack drops. So they might do the same thing here. But if you sell everything and then they go that route again, you won't be eligible for any packs. So I wouldn't sell everything unless you just want to get out. You're just done. Which this is probably not for you if that's the case, if you feel that way. So that's it for now. I have rambled way too long. If you are into NFL all day, make sure you don't forget to subscribe to the channel so you don't miss another video, and I'll catch you next time.